All right, guys, welcome back. Another episode, No Clue Garage. Oh, what a week it's gonna be. 2 weeks, actually. If you guys saw my last video, you saw that the engine for the stink bug sitting right here. It's all torn apart. I got all the tins on a table over there. Need to be painted. I've got parts on order. I don't even know if I have the right parts still, the seals and stuff. And I've got a car show in a little over a week and a half to get ready. Let's see. Work just got super busy. That requires me to work sun up to sundown, about 2 hours away. So I don't know how much I'm going to get done this week. And it's like currently 5 o'clock and I got to be back at work at 2 a.m. So I'm in a mad rush. So we're going to do a little bit tonight, not much, because I've got to go try to get some rest. But you saw in the last video, I ripped out the tar board. Why? Because it had mouse nest behind it. It was just kind of dingy, but it was still good. I ripped it out thinking that I had a new set of tar board, and I don't. What I ended up having was the sound insulation, the tar stuff that goes behind the tar boards. That wasn't gonna work without the actual boards on the outside. I don't have those. I don't have the budget for them right now. So we're gonna put the next best thing. We're just gonna paint the engine well. See how that goes. How's it gonna look? I don't know. We're gonna find out. It's gonna look better than it does, I think. I'm gonna paint it just flat black. See how that looks. Yeah. Your guess is as good as mine. But am I gonna clean it right either? No. So to clean it, I'm gonna use the good old brush and a hose here. I'm just gonna come in here, and get my finger out of the way and trying to get out what we can. Woo! Very dusty over there. It's not gonna be perfect, guys. I don't want it to be perfect. This is still, after all, a ratty old bug, you know? Whoa. Get off of there. I wonder if I shook this can up enough. I doubt it. I need one of those things that goes on a, what do you call that thing? Sawzall. Shakes your cans up for you. I guess if I got one of those, I'd have to get a Sawzall too, huh? I mean, I've got one, but it's probably from, I'd say it's probably 20 years old, corded. Handles, or the cords broke or deteriorated, but it works. So guys, on this, I'm just going over wires and everything. When I get down to the rubber, when I get down here to the rubber and stuff, I'm just gonna put this and just go along. Same when I get close up here to the outside, so I don't get it anywhere that I don't want it. So I'm gonna put this camera down. I'm gonna get this sprayed real quick and I'll bring you guys back and let you see how it looks. I don't know how it's gonna look, yeah, but I'm committed. Okay, so one full can of flat black spray paint later, with my head inside the engine compartment, it's safe to say that I can taste sounds and smell colors right now. Wow. There it is. That's flat black. Once it dries up, it'll flatten out a little bit. I think that is going to work just fine. I don't like that yellow cable. I might hit that with some paint later. Usually that'll be behind the tar board. But I think it's gonna look pretty good, especially once I get the engine back in there with the painted tins. I think I figured a color out on the tins too. I'm not gonna tell you guys, but wait, let's see. But I'm gonna go inside, wash my hands up, grab some dinner, bite to eat, Eat the Bite. Anybody know that movie, Terminal? Eat the Bite. Pretty good movie. I'm gonna go inside, grab a bite to eat, hang out with the kids a little bit. I'll come out and check on it here. Oh, I don't know, 30 minutes, hour. All right, guys, welcome back. Well, it's a couple days later, and I have been working like crazy at my real job. They've got me working, I don't know, 16-hour days right now. I've got a few projects I'm having to wrap up, and everything just kind of all coincided in the same week. So, yay for me. But also, I am it's the end of the year for school. And I am actually in between graduation ceremonies right now. My son graduated 5th grade, and then here in a couple of hours is my daughter's 1st grade award ceremony. So I've got maybe hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours to kill. So we're gonna try to get this pile of tins at least cleaned up and primed. I'm running out of time. We're a week and a day away from this car show, and the engine is still sitting on the stand. It's gonna be rough. Gonna get this stuff cleaned up real quick. I'll bring you back in just a minute. We'll figure something out. All right, so I got all those parts laid out. I cleaned them with some acetone. Remember, I hit them the other day with oven cleaner. That took dang near every bit of grease. In fact, some of the old paint off. So if you're gonna be spraying that stuff, don't spray it on anything you want to keep painted. But I didn't care on this. But I wiped it down with acetone to get any kind of little residue and stuff off. Then I hit them with the primer can. All right, so I hit them with the primer can. Now, like I said before, this is not gonna be a show car. So look at how rough that is. I don't care. I just want color on them. I want them to look good. You know, if this was a show car, I would have did the metal work on these. I would have sanded them down and cleaned everything up. But you know what? It's not. It's going to be good enough for me. It's actually going to be great for me. I got a few more pieces I've got to clean up, and still have the engine too. I think I'm going to paint the block and then the valve covers. I got to take the valve covers off to adjust the valves. While the valve covers are off, I'm going to clean them up with a, I don't know, wire brush or some sandpaper or something. Get them primered and painted too. And then I've got some parts coming in the mail. Nothing really for the engine. I still hope I got them seals. If not, I'm gonna have to find somewhere to get them. But I've got like clutch cable and stuff like that. But the main thing I'm missing is the clutch alignment tool. My boy was trying to 3D print me one, but the print kept failing. So I went ahead and ordered one. Bad thing is it's not supposed to be here till Thursday. Car show's Saturday. So we'll see. Maybe I can get the whole engine together, work on the clutch stuff. I also got, let me show you guys these parts. I was going through the stuff the father-in-law had for Volkswagen set aside, and I think he actually started ordering parts for this car before he gave it to me. I think he was going to try to rebuild this one. He ended up getting a Mustang, and all his attention went on to that and no longer on the Bug, and he said he was done with it, so he gave it to me. But I was going through, and I think he knew it had shifting issues. So going through there, I found a brand new shift coupler with new bushings and everything. Also found the shift rod bushing that goes in the tunnel and the little clip that holds it in. Now, I've watched some videos on how to take that out. It looks like it's a chore, but it doesn't look like it's hard. So if I'm still waiting on that clutch alignment tool, once I get the engine back together, we're gonna tackle putting that in to see if that takes care of the shifting issues. Hopefully it does. But as for today, I'm gonna let this stuff dry. Hopefully it gets dried. I've got, I think, an hour and 15 or so until I got to go to my next graduation deal. Hopefully it dries by then, and then I just got the call. My mother-in-law's air conditioner quit her. So looks like I'm gonna have to go run and take care of that. When I get done with that, I get to work tonight. I'll bring you guys back. I don't know what I'll be doing. Okay, so welcome back. Little change of plans. You probably just heard me say that I was gonna have to go to the graduation and then go work on my mother-in-law's air conditioner and then go to work, so I couldn't work on any of this stuff. Plans have changed. We went to the, it wasn't even a graduation, it was a 1st grade ceremony for my daughter. And after that, I went and looked at the mother-in-law's air conditioner. I can't find an issue. It was running. I don't know. It was working fine when I left. So one of two things. One, it's got a very intermittent issue, and it just was working fine when I was there. That'll pop up later if it does. Or two, my mother-in-law's just crazy. I'll let you guys think on that one. So I'm back here this evening. Of course, I got thunderstorms out there somewhere. Are they gonna come here? I don't know. So we're gonna see what we can get done. But earlier when I showed you guys the tins, I had them all in primer, said I was gonna let them dry. I came back like 5 minutes later and that primer was already dry. So the good old Oklahoma heat and some storms that moved through this morning, we had low humidity after those pulled through. So I guess it let that heat dry up, or that primer dry up. So I went ahead and did something. All right, to break the surprise, there's the 10s for the engine. Yeah, surprise, surprise. I went red, gloss red at that. Like I said, not a show paint job, not show quality. But man, this is gonna look good. So now, I mean, those are dry. I can touch them. They're still a little tacky, it feels like. But I'm gonna let those just sit there and bake and cure. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna pull this engine, get it over here where I can work on it. And we're gonna start prepping it. I'm gonna paint the block on it. I'm gonna pull the oil cooler off, change those seals if I've got them. Hopefully I've got them. And then I'm gonna prep it for some paint. Or did I already say that? I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna work on this engine. Okay, so I got the engine over here and I took off the oil cooler, and there's two O-rings that go here. They're like big rubber bushings. And I did not see any definite sign of oil leakage here, but there could have been. So I found some, I believe they're the right ones. They were just in an old kit that I had. But they fit in there, so I'm gonna use them. Also took the valve covers off because I'm gonna paint the valve covers. But while I'm in here, I'm gonna go through and adjust all the valves. That way they're ready to go. Everything, actually, this engine looks really clean. Really clean. Wow. So yeah, after I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and maybe tape off a few things on here and paint the engine block. I'm not gonna paint it all that great because most of it's not gonna be seen. I am not gonna paint the fins on the jugs because that's how it cools. So I'll stay away from painting those. But I'm gonna paint the block and maybe like the generator stand, you know, the base for the fuel pump, stuff like that. I'll get it all painted and let that start curing. Once it's cured, we can start putting this engine together. I've got to hurry up and get this together and get it back in the car. All right, I'm gonna get after that. I'm gonna adjust them valves real quick. If I can get the wife to record, I'll see if I can't show you guys how to do it. But it's real easy. If you've ever adjusted valves on anything, same on this. All the videos I've watched, everybody says adjust them to 6,000s cold. So I'm gonna go through and check it, see if there's any excessive free play in any of them. It did tick a little bit once it warmed up, so I don't know if that had to do with that, or it could be these 10s are loose. I've got to figure out some way to tighten those up. That's what goes around the exhaust for your heater. So I might get some screwdrivers and a hammer out, try to tap on some metal to tighten those up around the tubes. We'll see. All right, I'm gonna do that and I'll bring you back when I get a little bit more done. Turn the phone.
Oh.
We're not doing TikTok. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn the engine over. There's ways to do this. You can figure out which cylinder's up on the compression stroke. You can put the rotor on, and usually it'll point to the cylinder that is that you can adjust. What I do is I just watch both of these, and once they come up, right there, I've turned it. Neither one of these moved. That is tight. That is tight. Why are they so tight? That can't be. It is. There it goes. I don't think those need adjusting, but we're going to see. So I got my feeler gauges out. Like I said, everything I've read says 6,000s. So we're going to see here. Six thousandths. This one's a hair loose. So what we're gonna do, let me grab the screwdriver real quick. Remember when I used to do this all the time on your go-kart?
Yeah. I haven't seen that thing in a while.
Yeah, I haven't had any need to adjust valves in a while. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna loosen up the jam nut. Put the 6,000th feeler gauge in there. Yeah, it's 6. And turn the screw just until that starts to drag. Right there. And now the fun part is, I don't want to do that because last time I did that I dropped and they broke. Is while still holding that still, tightening the screw. Tighten the jam nut back up and then check your clearance. Perfect. Now I need to tighten this back up a little bit more. Tight. Check it one more time. I can live with that. This one is just on the tight side. Let me pull this engine a little bit. Yeah, this is just on the tight side, so I'm going to loosen it off just a bit.
Oh, it's hot outside.
It is hot. That sun came out of them clouds.
Yeah. Weird thing is, this morning it was fine, and then later it started hailing.
Yeah.
And storming.
Just like less than an hour later, huh?
Yeah.
From school. That was crazy too.
And now it's fine.
Hey guys, you're gonna have to do this 2 or 3 times on these most of the time because it's hard to hold that screw in place while you're tightening the jam nut, and they will move on you. So just be prepared for that.
The engine moved.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So that's 1 of 4. Repeat 3 more times. So we're going to spin this engine over. See, that one's going down. These ones haven't moved. Ready to test these. We want 6. Come on, 6. Man, I tell you what, that one's a little loose. This engine is surprising me. It is actually pretty nice on the inside from what I can see.
It's unclear on the phone screen.
Yeah. You know what? I can live with that. Okay, let's go over to the other side now. Hey, my engine's trying to roll away.
Ow.
Oh, did I roll over your foot?
Almost.
Almost.
My toe.
Come on, 6.
Is
A
it
little loose. Little tight.
So for one we have to loosen, and for the other we have to tighten.
Yep. Hey,
Ow.
you're in my seat.
Okay.
Perfect. Just a little bit of drag on there. That's all you need. This one now. Let me rotate the take the engine a bit and make sure. Yeah. We're good. Yeah, it's tight. That's a 6. It's probably like a 3. So we're gonna loosen. Any big summer plans, dude?
Sit in my room all day.
Sit in your room and game all day?
Yeah.
Yeah? With your friends?
Yeah.
Mom was telling me something. You wanted them to try to come over tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I need to clean my room.
yeah, you need to clean your room up. As soon as you're done helping me here, you can go clean your room.
Okay.
I can live with that. Come on, 6. Tight.
We're gambling.
A little tight. This one's extremely tight.
So is this one okay?
Yeah, we might loosen it off just a bit. I don't know. I'm thinking still. This one has to loosen off a lot.
Yeah.
I like that. Hair tight. Perfect. All right, guys. After you get done doing that, I like to rotate the engine over a couple times. What I always did when I worked on like his go-kart engine, the smaller lawnmower engine stuff. Rotate the engine over a couple times, then go back and double check them, just to be on the safe side. Never hurts to just double check. And I'll make sure I got all my nuts tight. Let's get our big old beast of a wrench over here. Let's just turn this engine over a couple times.
That one's making noise.
Uh-huh. If you watch it, you'll see the valves go up and down.
This is doing stuff.
Yeah, that's because it's trying to suck air in through there. Okay, so now let's get our feeler gauge. We'll start with this one. Maybe. See, that one, a hair too loose for me. It's a hair too, I might not be all the way. Yeah, I didn't have it. That one's perfect. That one's a hair loose.
Ugh.
So, just gotta keep at it. Which one was it? This one?
First.
That's wrong wrench. That's what's weird too, guys. Tell me if you've seen this issue. This is a Volkswagen engine. All metric. On these nuts here, 12 is too small, 13 is too big. Half inch fits it. Is that common with these Volkswagens? What's up with that? You guys tell me. I found it to be a little weird that I got to use a standard wrench here.
Freedom units.
Freedom units?
Yeah.
Okay, that one's perfect. 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 A hair loose, but close enough. Is that thunder? Did you heard that? I heard that.
Maybe trash. But they just trash go through.
Trash was early this morning.
Oh. That didn't.
Okay, let's check these.
Sky's clear.
See, both of those are way too loose. Yeah, that's why I always rotate the engine a couple of times and try it, because things will settle on you. I hear the lightning alarm going off at the ball field, so I guess that was thunder. Okay. Okay, I like those. Now, one more.
Oh, two more.
Well, one more cylinder. Those ones felt pretty good like that. Too loose. That one's good. That one's little loose. Better learn how to do this. I'm gonna make you do this on your truck.
Yeah.
Actually, you're lucky. Your truck has hydraulic lifters.
Yeah.
It uses oil pressure to automatically adjust them for you.
Mine doesn't have an engine.
The engine I am going to put in yours has hydraulic lifters.
Yeah, but right now it doesn't have an engine.
Right, yeah, right now it doesn't have anything. Good. Good. Alright, valves are adjusted. So now, you guys saw me paint other stuff before, so I'm not going to bore you with that. But I'm going to get this thing painted up, and I'll bring you back after I get all that done.
Okay.
Awesome, and I hear thunder.
Kachika.
It's going to rain on all my tins out there baking in the sun. I hope not. So I got the block painted. I didn't mask anything off. I was just careful with where I shot. You know, like I said, 90% of this block's going to be hidden underneath tins. those are the tins that are going to go on the engine, sitting outside baking. Was baking in the sun until good old Oklahoma bipolar syndrome decided to kick in. So hopefully it doesn't come and rain on them. They're dry, they're just sticky, you know. Got that tackiness that gloss paint gets. So I was going to put them there to bake, but here's the engine block. As you can see, I did not paint the fins, the heads, none of the exhaust ports, none of that stuff. All the stuff that has to deal with cooling, I did not paint. Now, I painted the top of the generator stand, but after the paint's dry, I'm going to go in here with some sandpaper and get that back down to bare metal, so that I'm not 100% sure, but you know, in theory, generator probably needs to ground. But as you can see, I was careful. I didn't spray any down into the oil or on the fins or any of that stuff. So I do got to clean up the flywheel. I can tell you one thing about using the oven cleaner. Any steel that it gets on, it's going to make it rust a bit, which is just surface rust. You know, you can clean it off, or in my case on these tins, it's going to get hot and it'll flake off. So there's that. So we're going to just let this stuff dry, and then I have a feeling I'm getting ready to have to go pull those tins back in. That's where we're at so far. Once this block, I'm probably going to put one more coat on it once this one dries up a bit. But once that block gets dry, I'm going to put that oil cooler back on with the new O-rings. You know what I did forget to paint? I knew there was something else. I forgot to paint the valve covers. I'm going to get them out and get them painted. So hopefully they'll dry up good enough, and then I'll put the new valve cover gaskets on, put the valve covers on, and then once those tins stop being tacky and cure completely, we'll start putting the tins back together. In the mail today, I got all my all my parts showed up. I got a new clutch cable, new Bowden tube, the wing nut that goes on the clutch cable. There was something else in that kit too. Oh, the spring for the clutch arm back there on the transmission. I've got to figure out how to do that one. That one's not going to be fun because that whole arm assembly's got to come out. But got all that, and the clutch alignment tool came in too. It wasn't supposed to be here till next Thursday, but I guess when you order a whole bunch of stuff at the same time, they'll throw it all together. So yeah, I'm gonna let this stuff cure up, and then I'll bring you back probably at the end of the night and show you what progress we got done. Probably not gonna be much because we're waiting on paint to dry. All right, so second coat's on everything, and slowly starting to reassemble. I went ahead and put the oil cooler back on with new gaskets, seals, the little rubber ones down below, and put the valve covers on with new valve cover gaskets. Let me show you what I got. Why do I always say that? Let me show you what I got. Let me show you what I got. All right, so the block's painted. Like I said, I didn't paint the fins, didn't paint the oil cooler. That way it can exchange heat. Painted the valve covers, which was kind of counterintuitive because you gotta scrape that big old bail clip over and scratch the paint, but no biggie. I'm not gonna paint any of the exhaust. I do have high heat paint, but I'm not gonna paint any of that. As you can see, I painted the block, but not any of the coolant tins. I think it's gonna look pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna slowly, I don't know if those tins are completely dry yet. Oh, I can't, I gotta paint one more thing. I'm gonna take all the nuts and bolts, put them through a piece of cardboard and paint the heads of those. So I guess I'm not gonna start reassembling yet because those are gonna take a while to dry. Let me do that. I'll bring you guys back at the end of the night. I'm not gonna get much more done, but I'll bring you back at the end of the night and show you what I got. All right, guys, so it's been a long night. I put a quick rush on trying to get as much done as I could because, you know, tomorrow I've got to go to work. Oh, probably leave here 5:30 in the morning, and I will probably be gone until about 8, 9 o'clock the next morning. A long day and night tomorrow. So hopefully I can get to work on it Saturday. Hopefully the tower crew that I'm working with will be done and I can get back here and work on it. So I wanted to put in as much work as I could tonight, especially since it was cool today. So so that I could just work on the car. But I ran into a couple mishaps. Some light on here. So I went ahead and I put that sucker together. What do you think? I forgot to paint my air cleaner, but I'll get it cleaned up. I did nick the paint a little bit putting it on, but I ain't too worried because I'm sure I'm going to nick the crap out of it when I go to put it in the car. Now, where I had some mishaps, main one, the carburetor. Putting the carburetor in, tightening this front bolt, and I didn't put like big torque or anything on it, but it stripped out the hole in the carburetor. So I am hoping that I can get a longer bolt, because when I took the stud out, that's what it did, is it stripped the stud, pulled the threads out. They came out with the stud. So I'm hoping I can get a longer bolt and get up here, and I'm hoping there's enough room for a nut right there. But I don't have any. I checked, so I have to go to the hardware store. Oh, I gotta put my cap back on here. Clip. Where's the little clip? Oh, it's hiding. Clip. Get my wire put back on. Well, let me tell you guys, I'm wore out, but I think it looks pretty good. What do you guys think? I think it's gonna look good sitting over there inside that empty hole. A lot better than what it looks like sitting right here. And just a quick walk around. I even painted the back of the tins. Ain't nobody gonna see them, but you know, might as well. Kind of painted up all the hardware. You know, like I said, this isn't a show car, and I nicked the crap out of this paint a few places, but it'll be all right. Hi guys, on that note, it's already like 9, I think, maybe close to 9:30 in the night. I could be up and on the road by like 5:30, so I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna put the tools up, I'm gonna go inside, clean up, and I'm going to bed. So I'll bring you guys back whatever day it is that I get to work on this thing. So, all right. Alright, so it's a couple days later, but I'm in a mad rush to get this done. So you saw that I got the engine mostly put together. I've just got to fix carburetor bolt that stripped out and put the clutch assembly back on, and then it'll be ready to go back in. Oil, oil, don't forget to put oil in the thing. I've done that before on a lawnmower engine. But anyway, I'm up underneath the car, and we're going to start on that clutch issue that we had. So I got a new one of these. This is the clutch return spring that goes on the transmission arm. I've watched one video on how to do this, so I'm probably going to fail miserably. But we're going to see what we got to do. This all starts up here. That spring goes on the arm that's back over here, that when you push the clutch pedal, it pulls. So you can see it's moving the throwout bearing. But there's no spring on there, so it doesn't push back. So in order to get that replaced, I have got to pull this arm off over here, and I'm trying to remember. I watched a video on how to do it, and now I can't remember how to do it. But I got to get this arm back over here. Where is it? There it is. Pulled off. Get that spring put back in there. I can't remember how to do it. I can't remember if I got to take this whole rod assembly out or not to change that arm. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the video real quick, and then we'll come back and we'll see what we found. All right, so I went and watched a video on YouTube on how to put that. Man, look at my hair. I'm just gonna stop messing with it. Just leave it. Went on YouTube. This ground is hard, and watched the video on how to do it. I watched one the other day, and they took the whole arm and everything off of there. Had to use a puller. I think it was a J-Bugs video, actually. And had to use a puller on the arm and all kinds of other crap. I was like, man, I don't want to mess with that. Then I ended up coming across another video of a guy that just slid it over and pried it on with screwdrivers. It wasn't easy. I said a few choice words, but it's on there. So definitely recommend trying it. My hand was in half of that. So. Okay. So what I did was I took the clutch cable out, of course. That wing nut. Be right there. And then took the old one with some screwdrivers. It goes right around here, and I pried it off. See, it was on there like that, and I pried it off, got it up over the top. slid the new one in and had to work it with screwdrivers and get it around, got it around the arm, and then had to push this piece back up in there. But look, it's in there and it's working. Wow, that's my hand. There we go. Wow, look at that hair. So I'm gonna climb out from under here for a few minutes, straighten my neck up. It's hurting a little bit. Tried to catch some sleep last night in the front seat of a little Nissan pickup while a tower crew was working. It's not fun. Sure make you hurt in places. So I'm gonna get up, stretch my neck, probably eat a hot dog or so, and then I think I'm gonna get on changing the clutch cable, Bowden tube, and that bushing and all that. That's fun because that's got to come all the way out the front of the car. So we're gonna learn. You're gonna learn with me. So yeah, all right. So I sit down, relaxed a bit, had a hot dog, bag of chips, get some food in my belly. And I think we're gonna move on to this clutch assembly, or the clutch cable. Let me tell you right now, guys, it's muggy. We got a chance of storms the next couple of days, and it's got that humidity. It feels like it's like 95% humidity. I know it's not that high, but gosh, it is. Especially in here in the garage where there's no air movement. But if I go out where the air movement's at, then I'm in the sun. I don't want to do that either. But let me quit complaining. Let's get to getting this clutch cable changed. So in order to change clutch cable, we got to take the pedal assembly out, because the clutch cable hooks up inside the tunnel back in here to the pedal assembly. So to start, we need to get this brake pedal off of here. There should be a little clip of some sort around there, and I don't feel one. Some sort of a clip on that rod, and honestly I don't feel it. It's missing, I believe, just like everything else in here. Oh no, it's there. I can't see either. I don't understand how this clip works. Does it just slide on there? What does it do? Yeah. It just slides up over. I just gotta get a good grip on it. There's just no room in here for a big guy like me. It's at an awkward angle to where I can't really get anything on it. Me and this little piece of spring wire are about to fight. You know why? Because that's exactly what it is. This one's different than the video I watched. This is the edge of the return spring. This is why it's acting like this. Bing. Go. Okay. So now with that out of the way, so the clip that was holding this little brake rod on is actually the edge of the spring for your return of your throttle return spring there. Throttle pedal return spring. So we got to get this off of there. Then it should just slide forward and pull out of there. That's what goes in and pushes on your master cylinder for your brakes. So now that we got that, we need to take our 17 mil socket. Holy moly, it's nasty in here. Of course, the video I watched too, I think it was old Glenn over there, Duckman. He didn't have body on. So that would have made it a whole lot easier. Oh gosh. Tight. There's one bolt. Uno más. It's way back here. If you guys are gonna try this with the engine in the car, you're gonna have to unhook your throttle cable from the carburetor.
washer?
I don't know. Probably because it's missing. And the reason you need to remove your throttle cable is because you need to pull the excess slack up here to get it out of this little connection, which this one has a bolt in. That wasn't on the video. See, my clutch cable had done already come unhooked. Ooh, that's not good. My clutch pedal assembly. Let me get it over here where I can get a good look. That could be a part of my issue too. That is almost completely worn and gone. I'm flaking the metal off the inside. Dang it. You can see here, that is not supposed to be that. You see? It's not supposed to be grooved down that deep. That is from just years of wear on it. I don't have another pedal assembly, so we're gonna have to run this one. But now, somewhere in here is my clutch cable. It is stuck. This clutch cable feels almost new. I can get down here and look at the back. It might just be stuck on the Bowden tube. Look down at the Bowden. Yep, it's stuck in the Bowden tube. So how do I get it out of there? I don't know. Never done this before. I cannot reach it from here. Most of the times, from what I hear, you will have to take your Bowden tube out. Your Bowden tube is a piece of tube. I think it's got a piece. Let me just show you. It's kind of hard metallic, rubber coated. And this is kind of what takes up some of the slack in your clutch to allow everything. Oh, it's actually spring loaded. So when this goes in the car, it's actually going to be kind of looking like that. Or, yeah, it's got a weird bend. I could show you the one down here. But what's happening is that there's a rod on the end of that cable about that long that's got all the threads. And it's getting caught up right here. So most of the time you're going to have to take this off anyway to get this straightened out. So it looks like I might have to get under there and hopefully it comes off easy. I might yell at you for some pulls. But I believe it's just a spring press fit. Oh yeah. Alright, you guys, tell me what's the easiest way to do this. I don't know. Now I got it all kinds of wanky. There we go. I just gotta get this cable out of here. Do it there. Okay. I'm gonna slide the old tube. Oh, in the eyeballs. Back on the tube. Now there's a tube that runs through the tunnel that your cable goes through. And your Bowden tube sits on the end of that. And I got this one off of there, and I can't get it back on. What is your problem here? Okay, it's back on there. So yeah, the tube that runs through that your cable slides inside this Bowden tube. And then up here, there's that little round bracket that slides over this. So when you get done, when this is in there properly, if you were to draw a line from here to here, straight up across the top of the transmission, they say there should be about 1 inch to 2 of drop in this Bowden tube. Okay. Now that I got that out and straight, Mama, go up there. Oh, I bet that clutch cable. Is that clutch cable still out or is it in the tunnel? You see it out there? You moving it?
I
I see nothing.
Nothing? Alright, put it back in the tunnel.
I can hear it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go pull it again and hopefully it doesn't get stuck again because there's a lot of up and down. And it got stuck again. That means I'm going back in under.
Do you want me to like hold the cable on this end?
No, because you're gonna get greasy like that.
So?
All I need to do, I think, is get it through the end of that Bowden tube. No, it went through the Bowden tube. Let me pull it through. Go ahead. Let me just pull the old one off. So here's the old Bowden tube. Honestly, there is nothing wrong with this one. It'll get saved as an emergency. I don't know if these go bad often or not, but it was a cheap part, so if I'm changing this stuff, I might as well change it all. Here's the fun part. Trying to get this old cable out without filling your interior with grease marks. Because this cable is greased as it goes in. Why are you getting stuck right there? It's out. That's the old clutch cable. Honestly, by looks, I mean, it's got a kink in it right there. But I don't. You can see where it's set in the Bowden tube for all those years. Right there and there. Before we proceed any further, what you want to do is wipe the grease off your hands, wipe the sweat off your brow, whatever, bro. Now this cable looks the same no matter what kind of VW you have, but they come in different lengths. The description on what I ordered says this works for Beetle Type 1 through these year models, but you want to double check. So careful, don't ever grab a cable like this and run your hands across it, because if this cable's frayed anywhere, you are gonna find out quick. I have done it many times. But you just want to kind of pull this up. What we're doing is trying to make sure that they are the same length. And as you can see, my original is half an inch shorter.
But you got kinks.
But you got these kinks. There's this one, there's one here. So this is the right cable. So now we can proceed. Before I go any further, I'm not going to bore you with this. I'm going to get the vacuum out and I'm going to clean up down underneath that pedal assembly, because one of the steps as you're putting the new cable in is you got to grease it as you're putting it in, and I don't want to pick up any of that dirt and grime and get it on the cable. That just acts like sandpaper in there rubbing away at metal. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm not going to bore you guys with that process though. When I took that pedal assembly out, you heard me say, oh, I don't like that. I noticed something. I think I showed you a little bit. But let me show you a little bit more of what's going on here. So this is where your clutch cable rides. There's a loop on the end of that clutch cable. And it rides in this little hook here. But as you can see how worn that is. See this whole circle part right there? That's where it's worn. This should just come around that way. So that is almost worn through, which is really not good. And that's going to also give you free play in your pedal. So I think they make a part to fix this, but you got to like grind this off and re-weld it on there. Or you buy a whole pedal assembly. I don't want to do either of those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break out my welder. I need to clean in there a little bit more. But I'm going to break out my welder and I'm going to try to fill that. And then I'll hit it. I think I got a round file. And try to put this back to where it's supposed to be, so that there's a little bit of metal in there for that to ride on. It's the worst that can happen, it don't work anymore. Yeah. So what I've done is I took my welder and I just filled up that gap. You can see it don't look pretty, but I filled in that gap. Both sides and on the inside, you know, from this way, like that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little die grinder and I'm going to clean that all up, and I'm going to make that nice and round inside like the little hook that it's supposed to be. Now you don't want to make that hook too thin so that it doesn't wear out and break off, but you don't want to make it too shallow so that the brake or the clutch cable pops off of there. So I'm gonna get that ground up. Hopefully it works. Okay, so I got that welded up. It's not as deep as the factory one. My little die grinder just wasn't cutting it, and my big grinder just won't get in there at the right angle. But I tested it. I put the cable on there, tested it. It runs through the full range without binding. So I'm gonna run it. I just looked. So apparently it's just the rod shaft right here that you can order. And it's like $9 on J-Bugs. So if this don't work, you know what? We'll just find a way to replace that part. Now what I'm gonna do, before I put any of this stuff back together, since I'm gonna be working around in there, is I'm gonna start replacing the shift coupler. It's back underneath the back seat in a little access panel. While that's unhooked, I'm gonna take the shifter out and slide the shift rod out so that I can change the little plastic bushing that's in there, because that'll get loose and waller around. So I gotta get some tools, get under the front of the car. There's a little access panel you gotta pull off that lets that boot right out. All right, so now we're gonna take this shift coupler off so that I can get the rod out. Plus I'm gonna replace this. First I'm gonna take the shifter off. The shifter is out. Careful, because these parts are gonna be greasy too. Okay, so now I'm gonna get that sun right in my eyes. This is 8mm. Catch the little grub screw here, the set screw. Maybe I should probably put penetrating oil on this, but I didn't. There we go.
Uh-oh.
What?
Oh, it fell.
Nothing. It's just my wrench. I'm just gonna pull it. No, that fell.
I heard that noise a minute ago.
That was my wrench hitting here. Okay. Now if I can, that just slides forward. Comes off of. It's supposed to just slide forward. Have anything to get it with. No, it didn't slide forward, it just came out of gear. Why is it not coming off of there? That coupler is supposed to slide off that shaft. Supposed to. It's moving. Ugh. Get a pry bar behind it. See if I can't put some leverage while I'm spinning. Probably not. It's just gonna.
Oh, it's not move.
Or it's just gonna slide off like it's supposed to. That video I just watched, that guy got right here to where I'm at the very end, and that's where he had all his trouble. It's off.
So what you're saying is it's normal to be hard at this part.
Get up there. Why won't you stay now? Okay. What I am just now seeing too that could have been my problem is there's supposed to be a 10mm screw that goes down through here.
There's not?
There's not. So how the heck is this being held together? Now my shifter up front is getting caught up. So what in the world is holding this together?
Gunk.
And that's, I don't know what the heck that is. So this is weird. 'Cause that's not supposed to be that way. So how the heck do you come off of there? All the other videos I've watched shows a 10mm socket. Oh no, I dropped it. Not a 10mm socket. Did I say 10mm socket? 10mm headed bolt on there. But there's not. Not anything.
Finally did it.
No, I mean I got that, but now I've jammed my shifter rod in the tower, in the tunnel, and it's not moving. Or maybe I just need to push it a little harder. Hit it with your damn purse already. Okay. All right, now that I'm done throwing a fit, as you can see, that's all loose. We destroyed that coming apart. These weren't really wallered all that bad, but that bolt was all screwed up, so I don't know. So what you want to do now is you want to kind of get your rod here. Giggity. You should be able to just get it and kind of give it a good push forward, but I can't with this one. It's stiff. I hope I didn't bend that damn thing. It almost feels like I did. Well, if I can't push that out, then I don't know how I'm going to get it out the tunnel all the way up front. Because all the videos I've seen, it's loose like that the whole way. Oh, there it goes. Like that. I doubt it came this far forward. Nope, I can't reach it. I can't feel anything. So now I'm stuck. So anyway, we're trying to shove that rod all the way up to this hole in the frame head. All the videos and stuff I watched, it was not this difficult.
It's never that difficult in a video.
Whoa. I got my hand in there as far as I can, and I do not feel the shifter.
Smaller hand, maybe?
No, don't want you to get cut up reaching in there.
Eh.
But I can't move the rod any farther forward because it's stuck on something.
What if I reach in and try to push it forward while you're on this end?
If you want to go try, right there in the shifter hole.
Where you were sticking your arm?
The up front.
Oh, up front?
Yeah, the shifter hole up front. If you can no longer reach it from that hole back. See that round rod in there? Oh, I feel it. Turn it. Can you turn?
Barely. Hold on.
Okay, don't move. I got it.
Yay!
mechanic.
All right. For those of you who have bugs and wondering what these weird holes are that are all over in these cars, they're different on different years. But on this is a 67, so there's a hole in the frame head right in between the bars of the beam. Then there's a little round plate here that you take off with one screw. Once you get that shifter, that slides through there. Take some finessing. I'm stuck on something in there. And then it slides all the way through this hole in the front.
And into the bumper.
And surprisingly hits the damn bumper. Yeah, it's probably because this bumper is way out of whack. I gotta wait to take care of this.
Push the bumper up with the jack.
Yep.
Ugh.
Okay. So we're gonna come out here. If your car's got good bumpers and they sit where they're supposed to,
Don't do this.
you're not gonna have to do this. Mine are all screwed up. So I'm gonna pick up on the bumper. And surprisingly,
Lift the whole car up.
it's not really doing much. I mean, it did a little bit, but
There's a big old bend in that.
there is.
I wonder if we just found the problem.
We might have. I don't know if there's supposed to be a bend in this or not. You two, tell me, is there supposed to be a bend? There's that bushing I gotta change that's all chewed up. There's supposed to be a bend in this. Right there. I don't know. I'm gonna do some research and see real quick. That's what it's supposed to look like.
That's what ours looks like.
Is that what mine looks like?
Mm-hmm. The bend.
Okay. It says with factory bend. So I guess it's supposed to be bent. Feel better about that.
Yeah, but dang, we still don't know what the problem is.
Hold that. I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff we found that could be the problem. This right here, that right there, supposed to look like that.
Oh, I'd say there's something wrong there.
Mm-hmm.
Why does the new one look plastic?
That's what they are, plastic. That's
Oh.
what this is. And that's a metal ring that holds it on. I've got a new ring too. What it is right behind the shifter, there's a bracket in there. It's actually part of the bracket that your shifter bolts onto. And it's got a hole in there, and that's what supports this. But this is the bushing that goes on there that takes up all that slack. So when this goes out, this starts doing this. That's when you get that real sloppy shifter. This is what takes care of it. And then the coupler back here at the back, it didn't look, the bushings didn't look all that wore out, but when you move it, they were kind of moving a lot. So I've got this, which is a direct replacement, missing the grub screw, so I'm gonna have to dig that grub screw out of the tunnel. So no biggie. See, this is what we were dealing with on there. See, that's what I was grabbing. All I really needed to do, instead of beating the crap out of all that stuff, is I should have just put my vice grips on the little screw head on this side and turn right here, and this would have come apart. So all that trouble I was having getting this thing off in there was my incompetence.
You just didn't know.
Not knowing what I was doing. That's what it was. So,
Does this look chewed up here, or is that just me?
no, it's just from the end of that. It's fine though. That doesn't really do anything because that rod right there goes through there as long as the hole's not all wallered out.
Oh, okay.
And they did say you're gonna have to spread
You
those
have to.
open a little bit to get that in there. So now I'm gonna get some light sandpaper and clean the shaft up. Then I'm gonna go reach my big fingers into that little hole, giggity, and replace this bushing, get this one off of here. And then we just go back in reverse order. This is where I will need your help though, because as I'm sliding this in from the front, once this gets up there, you're gonna have to pick this up and guide it into that bushing, and then I'm gonna have to push it in through.
Okay. Do you mean to try to reach in there and get that bolt out?
Oh yeah, I saw it in there. I can reach my hand in that part.
Okay.
Then once I'm done there, I'll need a broom handle or something to run in here to hit this and push this on through. Because once it hits that new bushing, it's going to be tight on there, which is good. That's what you want. So this is how that's set up. The metal ring around here, that's what holds it tight against the rod. This little notch right here fits inside the little plate. If you feel right back in here towards the back, there's a plate that goes straight down with a hole in it. That's where this goes. Do not drop it in there. To drop it. The stupid steering wheel is in my way. Oh, I'm about to drop it. Screwdriver's still in here.
I think you took them all out. Need one?
Yeah,
Which one?
because if I move my hand, that long screwdriver up front. It's in. Okay. Should come down here. Fill. It's down in there. You fill that hole?
Mm-hmm.
Where that bushing's at?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna feed that rod in through here. Once it gets here, you're gonna have to, I'm gonna get you a piece of wire. You might have to like feed a piece of wire down and around so you can pick up that rod. And then you gotta line it up in that hole. Let me find you a piece of wire.
Okay. Can hear it getting closer. Oh wait, I see it. It went way off to the side though. Okay, go back your way just a little bit. You went past me. Okay, come back. Got it. Push.
Are you lined up? If I push that through, we're done for.
Okay.
Huh?
I think you're there.
It's gonna be a tight fit, but if you think it's there, then it's not going. Oh, jeez.
You pull it back, I'll check again.
Yeah, just fill and make sure you're lined up. Make sure we ain't pushed that bushing in or something.
Come in just a little. I'm pretty sure that's it.
I'm kind of felt something fall in place. Ah, damn it, it's not going.
Oh, fell out again. Okay.
And I can't get a good push here. Okay, I'm gonna get up on the floor. See if I can't get where I can get a better push.
Oh.
Okay.
Hold on, I line you back up.
Yeah, let me back up. Did you feel that bushing? Is it still in place?
I think so.
Here, pull back a little bit, reach in there and feel. Is it still in place?
I think so.
Okay.
Okay. Wait. Oh, wait. Hold on. Okay.
Ow! Hey, we're in.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go back. Wait, before I get back down on the floor, I need a broom handle or something. Now, the fun part.
Oh, I need to get further back, huh? Do I need to line you up under the back seat?
No, it should just go, but it's stuck. That pin.
Let me look.
Look through that hole up front. You should see the shifter coming in the little pin. Close?
I just see metal bars still.
Okay.
got it.
Got it?
Yeah.
Putting our coupler on. They said that was a 10 millimeter. That's not a 10 millimeter. Neither is that. This is cheap. It's an 11. Let me get an 11. So now,
Give me the light. Okay.
just lightly grip this side with a pair of vice grips. Now, shifter is pointed up.
Yeah, I turned it.
You can get the wire out. So when you put this on, you want to make sure your hole for your set screw, I keep calling it a grub screw for some reason, your set screw is pointed up. So now you want to reach in and grab this. We're going to have to open this up. How can I open this up? That ain't gonna work, dummy. That is tough. I don't think I got it open, Danny. Ow, needle nose in the knee. No. How the heck do you open this up? Think, honey, think. Like that. Okay. That's opened up now. Hopefully enough. Okay. Shifters up. Up. Back in there. Take this. Me and this light are gonna fight.
I tried to take it from you earlier and you wouldn't hand it over. Here.
Let's see. Up. Up. Nice grips. But I'm gonna go that tight. Okay. Now, slide your shifter back. Get it on the shift rod. Get it lined up with your set screw.
What?
Me and this light.
My bad. That one was me.
Okay, line up your holes for your set screw. Now this has got a little conical on the end, so it's going to find that and center it up. Just don't drop it now, because it'll be hard to get. I hope this one fits this, because this come out of the old coupler, but this new one didn't have one with it. And it doesn't feel like it fits. Maybe I should have checked that before I put this whole thing together, you know? Alright, so the best I can tell, this is going to be an M8 1.25 thread. I hope. So I'm just going to tap this hole to that. And then we'll see if it goes in. It's hard to do because that thing wobbles. So basically all we did is we cut different threads in that hole. Hopefully they match the thread that's in that grub screw.
Yay! I find it crazy how you can just change the threads like that.
It's close enough. So now let's get back to where we started. Tight. Okay. Now there's a hole through that, and I'm supposed to safety wire it, but I don't remember which way to safety wire it. If you went back to here, you were supposed to go. I'll have to watch a video on that. I'll do that tomorrow. Okay. Let's put the shifter back in now. Alright guys, there is a way to adjust this because the holes are slotted. This will move front and back. I've probably watched 15 videos on how to do it, and I believe I've heard 15 different ways of how you should adjust it. So honestly, I have no idea. So what I'm going to do is I just kind of get it in a even position front and back, and we'll see. And then you really, once you drive it, you see how it shifts, and then you can adjust. Holy cow.
That sounds much better.
That thing feels like a brand new car.
It sounds better.
There's still a little catch right there. You go in the first.
Could it be something wrong with the shifter?
Right there. I get that. It won't go in the first. I got to kind of wiggle the shifter a little bit. But that could just be the adjustment in here. I don't know. Right there. When I try to go to first, it just catches. And it's up here. I can feel it, right? There. Okay. Alright. I'm done for the evening. I can't take no more of this. I am greasy, sweaty, nasty, ucky. Done.
It's pretty nasty out tonight.
It is.
There's storm chances, so the humidity's through the roof.
Yep, and I think luckily they're all staying north.
So far.
Oh crap, I'm not done. I gotta put the plate back on the front. That's alright, that's easy. Easy job. Hi guys, it's the next day. What is today? Today is the day before Memorial Day, better known as Racing Day. Well, in my house. Got up this morning, watched a little bit of the rich yacht champagne drinking folks at Monaco with the F1 race. Getting ready for the polo shirt, short wearing, wine cooler Indy race. And then tonight we get to watch the good old NASCAR Coke 600, where you're bound to see some drunk redneck with a number 3 shaved into his chest. My kind of racing. But anyway, we're gonna get back on the Beetle. I have a little bit of a limited window today, depending on weather. I might have to go work this evening and overnight. So I'm gonna try to get as much done as I can today. But put the clutch cable in. So last night when I left off, we got the new shift bushing or coupler in place. I went ahead and safety wired that grub screw. It comes with a little hole in it, and you want to safety wire that, you know, just around the shaft, safety wire that, because those things they'll back off. And if you're on the side of the road that backs off, you're gonna have hell if that little grub screw fell into the tunnel and you can't find it. So safety wire it. Not only will it keep it from backing out, if it does find a way to back out, it's gonna hold it there for you. So you can put it back on, and you'll know instantly as soon as that grub screw comes out, because you won't be able to shift no more. So got that done. I just put the Bowden tube in, just snapped it in place real quick. And then now we're gonna have to put this cable in. Before you put this cable in, well, don't really want to do it before because it'll make a huge mess. But this cable, it's just a bare cable. It needs to be greased as it goes in. So from the videos I've watched, the best thing to do is you slide it in the little tube in the tunnel, and as you're going in, grease it a little bit as you go. If not, this cable is, let's see, I'm 6 foot tall, so this thing's every bit of 8 foot tall, 8 foot long. If you were to just grease the whole thing, it's going to flop around in your interior. You're going to get grease everywhere. We don't want that. So as I'm sliding this in, I'm going to slowly grease it until we get back all the way to where I can hook up the hook on the clutch end. And I dropped it. And then I'm still trying to figure this one out. But all that holds your clutch cable to your clutch pedal is this little hook. And if you're not careful while putting this stuff back in the tunnel and bolting it in, this will come off. Then you got to take it all back apart to put it back on. So a few of the videos I've watched, they say to safety wire, you know, this down to the hook. So I'm still trying to contemplate in my head how I'm going to do that to where it doesn't interfere. I saw one person said use like a bread tie, you know, the twists for bread tie. I guess that, you know, if it binds up, it'll just snap. I might go find one of those. That's a good idea. So we'll have to get that figured out once we get up to that point. But they're doing driver intros on Indy now, so I'm going to shut this thing off, maybe watch a couple driver intros, and get my stuff together and start sliding this in through the tunnel, and I'll bring you back when we're ready to start putting that hook on. Okay, so the clutch, the whole pedal assembly is back in. It's not hard, it's just frustrating. The little hook for the clutch pedal, you got to keep that little round clevis on that hook. Like I said, some of the videos I watched said to tie wire it. I couldn't figure out how that'll actually keep it on there. So I finagled mine in there and actually we got it. It can be done without tying it. Just be careful when you're tightening down the bolts and stuff. That pedal flops. That cable can come off that hook. So got that in there, got the throttle cable hooked back up, got the little, the spring for the brake pedal is also the clip that holds the brake pedal rod that runs your master cylinder on. Got that put back on, got the clutch cable put through the cable arm and just tight enough now that it holds the cable so that it doesn't fall. We can't adjust that until we get the clutch in and feel how much free play we got. So yeah, it's all in. Everything's moving freely like it should. The rear coupler is in and everything in the back is in, ready to go. So now I'm gonna wheel the engine out here. I've got a couple things I gotta clean up on there. Put fuel line back on, vacuum lines. The carburetor, when I went to put the carburetor on the other day, I stripped out one of the mounting bolts. And I say I stripped it out. I wasn't turning it tight. It wasn't even tight. It just, all of a sudden it just twisted and got free. So I got a bolt that's supposed to be the same thread. I'm gonna try to run it up, and it's longer, so I'm gonna try to put a nut on the top of it so that it doesn't come off. I also got a bolt for the mounting bolt in the transmission to engine that was missing. So make sure that that's gonna fit, and start contemplating how I'm gonna get this engine off this stand onto the floor. And then start thinking about how I'm going to get this engine into that engine compartment without completely destroying those fresh painted tins that I put on there. That's the one I'm more worried about. So I'm going to get the engine out, get it cleaned up, and I'll bring you back and show you once I get that fuel line and vacuum lines and stuff run. Well, motor's ready to go. Now we're just trying to get up the courage to get this thing off the stand and onto the floor. I'm going to lie, it's a little heavy. I mean, it's not as heavy as no big V8 or anything like that, but it's just me, the wife, and you know, 11-year-old. It gets kind of heavy. So I got my fuel lines. Oh, I'm missing my vacuum line. I'm glad I started talking to you guys because I would have forgot that. No biggie. I mean, I would have found out real quick when it didn't want to run. Got my fuel lines, and yes, it's been months since we first started this journey. I took the fuel filter out of the engine compartment. It's going to go back here underneath the body of the car. What else did I do? New spark plugs, put new set of spark plugs in it. Yeah, also, your fuel line. These carburetors are notorious for that little metal, what do you call that? Nipple that the fuel line goes on to come out of the body of the carburetor right here. So take this screw out, get you some safety wire, whether you wrap it around, I put mine through an electrical eyelet, and come back to this hose clamp here. That way it keeps it pushed that way, pulled that way I should say. Because if not, and if that thing comes out while the engine is running, it's still got all the fuel in this bowl and it is just going to spray. The fuel pump is just going to spray fuel everywhere. And that's, I believe, one of the #1 reasons why these things burn down. That, and from what I hear, fuel filter in the engine bay, especially when people use plastic ones, like I did. Once I get this thing down and maybe into the car, if it's not too late, some point in time I got to run to the O'Reilly's. I'm going to get a metal body fuel filter to put up underneath. That way, if any rocks or anything goes up there, it's not as easy to break it open. So if you guys got any ideas of how to get this thing off of here and onto the floor, let me know. For the next one that I do, we're gonna pull her engine out soon too, get it cleaned up like this. But I think right now we're just getting up the courage to brute force it and get it out of here. Your job is to record us. It's already recording. Don't push any buttons, okay? Keep your hands out of the way so it doesn't get in front of the camera, okay? Madison, come here. Your job is gonna be over here. Me and Mama and Bubba are gonna lift this thing up and we're gonna slide. See this part? See this part? This part slides out of there. Once we get that slid out, I need you to get this and just pull it back here, okay? I will tell you when. So come stand back here and get ready. Cameron, you know your part, right?
Where are we putting it?
Down.
Straight down to the floor.
So Maddie's gonna pull
Maddie's-
it.
Yep, Maddie's gonna pull that out. We're going straight down to the floor.
Is it recording?
Yeah, check it real quick.
It's recording.
Over here so you can see. Switch over.
All right, Mama, probably under the muffler and back here again. Yeah, dude, you're right there. Cameron, pick it up. Cameron, jiggle up and down. Cameron, you need to like really pick up. There you go. Why is it? It's because I'm pulling it out on one side. All right, you ready, Maddie? 1, 2, 3, go. Oh, that wasn't so bad. Thank you. We did it.
It's working.
No, I didn't.
Team effort.
Good job, Allie. Good job, Maddie.
Good job, camera girl.
Careful, you're
High
gonna fall.
five.
Thank you, baby.
Ow.
Good. Good job. High five.
Good job. Good job.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right.
Hi.
Thank you.
High five.
All right. So now that it's on the ground, I got to take this mount off that holds it to the engine stand so I can get that clutch bolted up in there. I did get a clutch alignment tool and it came with new clutch bolts. So I'll be replacing all those bolts, get it torqued down. The manual says 18 foot-pounds. Click, 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 click. Easy as that. Then I'm ready to slide this over there and figure out how in the world I'm going to get that in there without scratching these nice tins all up. I have no clue.
We'll find
We're
out.
going to figure it out. So the first thing you want to do before you put any of this together is you want to clean this clutch surface. Even if it's brand new, you want a clean clutch surface. All right, so I'm going to use some brake clean and a little scrubby. I have a feeling the brake clean's going to eat right through this. Just to clean off and get this mating surface as clean as I can get it. But like I said, if you've got a new one, when those things come in, ship, they have a protective oil on them. So you really want to get that off. You don't want any oil on your clutch. Alright, so after you get done scrubbing it, just hit it with some brake clean. That'll take off all the oils and residues and stuff. I'm going to do the same with this pressure plate. Just hit it with the green scrubby just to clean the surface up. Now when you guys go back together with this, just be sure not to touch these surfaces too much unless you've got like really clean hands. Because if you have any oil or anything, like here in a second I'm about to have to put a dab of oil into that pilot bearing in there. So I got to be really careful not to touch any of the mating surfaces. On this part you don't need to scrub, you just spray it to get the residue off of it. Let it all. Woo. That brake clean's strong. I'm starting to see color, or I can't even talk. See smells and taste colors. Okay. that's good. Let's just spray brake clean all over those fresh painted tins. Woo-hoo! I know that sounds strange when I'm putting the clutch in, saying, hey, I need grease. But there's little needle bearings in the center that your pilot of your input shaft rides on. And we'll make sure those bearings are greased up and free. Mine are free. I can put my finger in there and spin them. I just want to put a dab of grease on them just to make sure. Now the bolts that come with these have these weird wavy washers. And apparently, yes, that's how they come. I believe it's a form of lock. The wavy washers, the way I learned this a long time ago in mechanics class for working on fire truck pumps. They have different types of locking fasteners, and I believe the wavy washer, since it's making more contact in just two little spots instead of all the way around evenly, it creates a high tension right there. It kind of acts as a locking washer. Same with you'll find some nuts sometimes that on the bottom there's a corner that's slashed because you're putting the same amount of force as a whole one just on the narrow one, and it creates a higher tension, so it keeps it from backing off. So anyway, quick lesson there. Put a little dab of grease. It's not going to take much, just enough to grease that bearing. And make sure this does not get on your clutch surface.
What is that?
That is grease.
Ooh.
Maddie, I bet it's greasy.
Okay, wipe your hands clean after doing that. I just use brake cleaner to clean my fingers. If you got sensitive skin, I don't recommend it. If you got any fresh cuts, it's going to let you know. So, now, we need to take our clutch tool. Slide it into your clutch. This little section right here is going to go into the pilot bearing, just like that. That's going to center this shaft in that pilot hole, and then once you put the pressure plate on there, it's going to hold pressure, so it's all centered so that your input shaft can line up. If you do not do this, you will not get your engine and transmission mated. Yeah, I mean, you might, but it'll be a miracle. So now we're going to take our pressure plate.
Daddy's super smart.
I ain't smart.
He's a fart smeller.
Done this type of stuff before. And of course.
What's your name?
Mom.
Alright, so now we're going to
What-
backtrack a little bit.
What's this?
Nostrils.
No. What's this?
Ow, you're pinching my leg.
What's this?
Nose.
What's this?
Air.
No, what am I holding?
Mom knows nothing. Thanks, jeez.
Okay, so this loop, so that you can pull this out when you're done, doesn't fit through the center here. So we're going to have to go ahead and put this in here first. Then put our clutch disc on. And then now slide it all in as one unit. Okay. Line your holes up. Let's start a bolt. Did you have fun at your sleepover, Mads? Yeah? You excited for dinner? Burgers.
Yeah.
Burgers and NASCAR.
Burgers and Bob's Burgers.
Alright,
Please don't
so now we're going to tighten down this pressure plate. We'll make sure this is still, everything's seated. Now when you do this, you only want to tighten a little bit down, and you want to go work around a star pattern. As you tighten, you're going to see these fingers move because you're pushing pressure up against that clutch disc. So, and once they get down, don't smoke them, because we only got to torque these to 18 foot-pounds. And you know what I forgot? I'm going to put some Loctite on these just to be safe. Not the super high strength stuff, but But I got to remember if I've got Loctite. I might be making that O'Reilly's run now. Alright, so that took a quick trip to the O'Reilly's. So that was out of Loctite. But it was a good thing because I got my fuel filter. So now that I've got all these bolts in here, now I got to pull them all out one by one and put some thread locker on them. And the main reason is They only go to 18 foot-pounds, which doesn't seem like a lot to me. So I'm gonna put some just blue Loctite on these, because I might have to take this apart again in the future. I don't want to put any red. Okay, so don't pull that all the way out yet. Just make sure it's, you know, kind of centered up, feeling good. You want to go around and just kind of slowly bring these down in kind of a star pattern. So you can see, you saw those moving. Temptation's there to just run it on down with these, with the gun, but you don't want to do that. And this thing calls for 18 foot-pounds right there. But it just does not seem like a lot. See, that's already. This torque wrench is screwed up. We screwed it up when we were doing your wheels. So I am just going to use the gun, guys. That's tight. 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 And now, if we're lucky, clutch tool should just pull right out the center. So now everything is lined up. So imagine this is the pilot shaft. This on your input shaft on your transmission. This is what spins to give the power to your transmission. So when you line it up, this will go in here. And is that all the way in? Yeah, line right up. Just like that. So that's in. Cool. So yeah, this engine's ready to go in the car. I am going to try to find maybe like that Texas blanket, the Motor Speedway blanket, a thin but soft enough blanket, and I'm going to cover as much of the tins and stuff that I can. So while I'm putting it up there, I'm not beating it all up, but we'll see. On the bottom of that engine, there's a round deal where we change the oil. We need to get that round deal put on that pad. So me and Mom are going to get down here, and we're going to do our best to pick up as far as we can on these, and I'm going to need you to slide the jack and kind of line it up, okay? I'm what?
Wait, where is it?
It's right in the middle of the engine. Once we pick it up, if you look down there, you'll see it. It's about that big around. All right. I know I didn't bring you guys back for a lot. Hello. For a lot of it. I was frustrating. There was a lot of few choice words said. The engine's in. Here she is. Sorry, had to turn the TV down. Coke 600's on, and it looks like Ryan. Oh man, Ryan Blaney just wrecked out.
No, they're still cleaning up the last wreck.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He wrecked out. I didn't even see. I just heard him say big wreck. Oh man, that kind of sucks. I like Ryan Blaney. Engine's in, all wired up. All the tins are in, bolted down. The seal. This is that seal, guys. Make sure it's in there. That's going to keep the hot air down and out of the engine bay. So it's all wired up, plumbed up. I've got my air cleaner I'm going to put on in a minute, but first I want to just check over the stuff here, make sure there's no leaks or anything. Just giving it a good final look through. What do you think?
I like it.
You think it's time? Hold the light. All right, we're going to try to fire this thing up. Hopefully, the biggest thing is hopefully it doesn't start pouring oil out of the oil cooler. I put new seals in there. Were they the right ones? I don't know. They were the ones that were in this seal kit. So, let's see. Oh, this is nerve-wracking. Oh, gas pedal feels so much better now that I fixed it. Clutch feels different. There's no fuel at the carburetor. Remember, it's empty.
Oh yeah. that noise?
The subwoofer.
Oh.
There's no fuel in the carburetor, so we're gonna have to get it to pump.
You want me to turn the key?
No.
You want me to spray the brake cleaner?
There's like nothing in here. Let me get a good pan. Okay. When I start turning, I hate doing this, guys. For one, I'll tell you right now, I hate doing this because if you get too much brake cleaner, ether stuff, you can wash the oil down off the cylinder walls and start scoring them. But once it starts turning over, give it a little shot of gas right there in the throat. Hey, contact. No?
No. And the light landed on my toe.
Did it at least stumble?
I don't think so. You did something that time.
Give it a good big shot in there right now. Okay. Okay, we got problems. Alright guys, I pulled the whole distributor and everything off this thing. It's out of time. I did pull the distributor off. I pulled the distributor cap, but it is definitely out of time. When I originally took it off and I looked, it had the number 1 here, but when I thought I did a compression and brought it up, it was pointed here. So I could be one out completely. So if that's the case, let's see. I've got one here, and it was here. So what I need to do is here. 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 And here. We'll see if that's back to where it was to begin with. If not, then I've got major issues I'm gonna have to start looking at. Alright, contact. Running. be okay. So now I got things to work on now. We think we still need to adjust that clutch some. That's Big Thunder. And then
Typical Oklahoma fashion.
cylinder number 1 is not firing. I put new plugs, but the plug was firing, I imagine, because there was spark jumping over to the wire. The other thing I did was adjusted the valves. And I might have got one too tight. I don't see how. I rolled it over 2 or 3 times and rechecked them, and they were good. Well, crap. I thought I was going to be done tonight. But it's in and it's running. Don't see any fuel leaks. Don't see any oil leaks. Guys, I'm going to call it off for the night.
Work
I'm
on
gonna
it
think
tomorrow,
about it.
maybe.
I'm going to think about it. I got to go to work tomorrow afternoon, evening. So I'm going to think about it overnight and come up with an idea. Dang it, that really sucks. It didn't have a miss before. So,
I don't know what we would have done that messed that up.
yeah.
Hey, it's starting to rain.
I don't know. All right, we're going to get the stuff in because it's starting to rain. Still dragging.
Thought you had it for a second.
I can get it into gear now, but it's still grinding, and it's the clutch down, and just between first and second, if I slowly pull in second, you can hear it. Problem is I can't turn that the bolt wing nut by hand anymore, and I've got the tubes all hot, so I'm gonna have to slow them pull down a little bit. It's still got a bad miss in it though. Do some more research.
It says the firing order was off.
Running good now.
whole time.
Well, with the engine. I don't know what that little sputter I keep getting is, but it's running so much smoother. Yeah, they had the firing order off. I just copied what was already there before. I'd been driving it around.
We just never checked it.
Yeah. But what led me to it is both cylinders 1 and 2. I would pull the plug wires off the cap and it wouldn't change the idle. It's almost like it was running on just 2 cylinders. Cylinders 3 and 4. So I checked it, and sure enough, it was off. I moved it around a few times because I kept getting mixed up on what wires were what. And then I finally got it, and it seems to be running good. Now I got to let those tubes cool down. Oh, and by the way, I just couldn't take it. I sat down, had a beer about it, and I had to get back on it. But now I got the exhaust ports too tight. Exhaust pipes too hot to reach around to adjust the clutch more. I can get it into reverse, but it's still kind of slowly grind, and it's still grinding going into second gear. And look at that massive bug on the TV. He wanted to watch NASCAR.
He's just getting involved.
Yeah. Alright. I'm going to sit down and think about it again, and see if those cool off. If not, I'll be back in it tomorrow. Alright, so the next day, I went ahead and put the car on the ground, took it for a little test drive. My clutch gremlins are still there. Rode great, drove great, but going into reverse, just would not go into reverse, just sits there and grinds and grinds and grinds. So I adjusted the clutch pedal down a little more, got a little better, still ground a little bit. So I adjusted it a little more. And it grinds going into gear, but it slows the transmission down, goes into gear. Actually feels like it needs to be adjusted a little more. The problem is now the clutch pedal's not disengaging until it's almost straight up. Still got full clutch engagement because I can put the car in gear with the parking brake on and it'll stall it down. So I don't know. I think right now it's just going to be that way. I got to figure this out. I got to talk to some VW people because I don't know. I've done what I know what to do. I've replaced it. It's got all new everything except for the clutch and the pressure plate. So I don't know. But here, let me show you the engine though. Now that it's daylight out and you can see. So there she is. Looks freaking great. I love it. And it runs good. Everything seems to be running good on there. I've got a little bit of a pop at idle coming out of the exhaust pipe. Almost like a little backfire. I don't know what that's about. I'm going to do some research on that. But with all that being said, we're going to cut this video here. I've got to go to work here in a few hours and be there overnight and all day tomorrow. So I'm going to go get a little bit of rest while I let the kids play. It's Memorial Day, so they're not doing much here. Hi, Quinn. Neighbor girl just came over to play with the girls, so I'm gonna go inside, I'm gonna watch some TV and relax. And we'll think about this. Next weekend, next video will be a pretty good one. We're gonna clean these cars up, get them ready, and next Saturday we got a car show. First car show for both of them. So we'll go ahead and get all that stuff ready for the car show, and we'll have some car show footage of that next video. So it should be a good one. So remember guys, if you guys like this stuff, I know I'm kind of boring, but if you like it, go ahead, please like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. You know, it's gonna help me out in the long run. Hopefully eventually this stuff will take off, but we'll see. If not, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. So on that note, we'll see you guys on the next one.